We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Today we are going to talk about Buddhanosati. So we have already said there are 10 types of recollections in meditation. Though we also have said some of the recollections cannot attain jhana. Then there are some recollections they can attain up to the first jhana or up to fourth jhana. It depends on the kind of recollection. So today we are going to talk about the recollections of the Buddha. As Buddhists, we have already known that there are 9 qualities of the Buddha. Mostly we chant all the Buddha's quality every day, or according to the situation we may chant. Mostly in Myanmar we chant in Pali. So we try to understand Pali. There are many people, although they cannot understand the meaning of the Pali, they are still chanting. Okay, now we are going to introduce the quality and its meaning or definition. Sometimes it's really very difficult to translate. We just have to interpret. It will be easier for us to explain in detail. So, as we have known the Pali, Itipiso Bhagava Araham Samma Sambuddho Vichārana Sampanno Sukado Lokavidu Anuttaro Buddhisa Dhammasarati Sattha Deva Manusana Buddho Bhagava. So in our daily chants, we have this passage. Every night after chanting Buddha, we also chant these qualities. So now we will start with Araham, the first one. Mostly we just translate as a worthy one or holy one. Sometimes we also translate as an exalted one. Anyway, here we just use the Pali words Araham, Ara and Ham. So I mentioned that the first definition. The Buddha is the one who stands remote and far away from all defilements. And Bali also mentioned Arakata. Araka means very far or far. So the Buddha had already eradicated all the defilements. That is why this we call remote, very far from the defilements. Then one more thing about it. What about other arhat? As we have known that all arhat had already eradicated the defilements. So arhats are also far away from the defilements. Why it is mentioned in the Buddha's quality? It will be different. All arhats also can be very far away from defilements, but they have a habit. They cannot eradicate or remove the habit. But the Buddha had already eradicated or removed or overcome any or habit, including the defilements. So, the main thing is, the Buddha is the first person who guides his disciple to be far away from the defilements, as he himself is also far away from defilements. This is the first part we have to know. Then 2, the Buddha is one who destroys his enemies, the defilements. Arina hatata. It's just metaphorically saying, right? Arinam, the enemies. So sometimes we make friends with defilements. From time to time, the Buddha also said, Tanha duti go. The craving is the second person's. That means wherever we go, we just does not go alone. We just bring our attachment together with us. Wherever we live, we don't live alone. We just live together with defilements, craving or attachment or hatred, anger, pride. We may have many defilements. So now, we have to understand that the defilements are enemies. Sometimes we are very close to the defilements. We make friends with the defilements. So that's why Buddha can destroy his enemies, the defilements. That's why it's called Arina Hadada, the one who destroys his enemies. Then 3, the Buddha is the one who spoke of Samsara, the 12 fetters of dependent originations. So as we have already known that we have Avijja Sankhara, Sankhara Pacca Vijnana, Vijnana Pacca Namarupa, Namarupa Pacca Salarana, and so forth. If we have 12 fetters of dependent originations, for example, Avijja Pacca Sankhara, because of arising of Avijja, Sankhara arise. Sankhara Pacca Vijnana, because of arising of Sankhara formations, the consciousness arise, and so forth. So altogether there are 12 types of 12 factors of dependent originations. Patisambhidamagga. They are called spoke of Samsara. Then you may have seen like a wheel, especially in the bicycle or in the motorbike. You may have seen spoke on the wheel. If we just destroy all the spoke, the wheel cannot run anymore. Similarly, the Buddha has already destroyed all the spoke of dependent origination. Then he cannot be reborn anymore. As you have known that there are 3 types of vata. For example, kilesa vata, defilements round. As we know, avijja, ignorance, is also defilements. Then dana is also defilements. Upadana is also defilements. These are called kilesa. With kilesa, we may have accumulated many good and bad things in our life or in our past lives. So it becomes some sankhara, also can be called karma. As we understand, bhava pacca jadi. In the case of bhava, it must be karma bhava, karmic force or karmic potentiality. So anyway, as long as we have defilements, we will do many good and bad things. All these things can be considered as a karma. We also say karma round, karma vata. If there is a karma, there must be the result of that karma, the effect of that karma. So karma will produce life. In Pali we call jati, rebirth, or new existence. Or if we summarize another way, as long as we have defilements, we will do good and bad things, then there will be the effect, the result of good and bad things, good and bad actions. So after getting the results, then we may have defilements again. We may accumulate it. We may accumulate good and bad things. We may get a result again. So If we give another example, actually in the text it's mentioned very, very many examples. Okay, so now I will give very simple example. For example, we have a house. Sometimes we think that one house is not enough. We need two houses, 3 houses, and so forth. So if we have this kind of attachment, this kind of expectations, this kind of greed, this is called kilesavata, the defilements. Then because of that, we will try to earn more. That is the actions. After a long time actions or after some times, we can get what we wish to get. For example, as I said now, we have 2 houses. But not enough. We want to have one more house, 3 houses. Then there's also greed, defilements. Then we may make actions, we will earn more. After that, we will get what we wish. Then this is called vibhagavata. This is called samsara. We want, we try, we get. We want more, we try, we get more. In this way, it's called spoka samsara. Here I just mentioned 3, right? Actually, there are many, many explanations in the Visuddhimagga. It will be very complicated for you, especially for beginners, because Tibetan origination is really very deep and very profound. It's not that easy for beginners to understand. That's why I skip many parts. Anyway, now we have to continue 4. Who is worthy of receiving the 4 legacies? Paccaya, Dina, Arahata. So here Paccaya means the legacies. Arahata means worthy of receiving. So as ordinary people, we bhikkhu are also honored by many devotees, supported by many devotees, offered by many devotees. It would be different from the Buddha because we are ordinary people. The Buddha is extraordinary. It will be different, totally different. So although it's very high quality, for example, divine nutriment, if an ordinary people eats or consume divine nutriment, we cannot digest who are pathway. But the Buddha can consume it. Although the Buddha take it, the Buddha can digest divine nutriment. It is really, really very different from ordinary people. Not only that, many devas offered the Buddha many different things, such as offering flowers, offering divine nutriments, offering the living place, dwelling place in Devarams. When the Buddha visited there, right? They also offer a living place for the Buddha. So the Buddha is worthy of all the things. Buddha can accept everything they offer. Now, for our ordinary people like us, we can accept, but we cannot use all the things like the Buddha. Now, I have already said, divine nutriments, we cannot digest. But the Buddha can digest all the things. So now we have the last one, 5. The Buddha is the one who is the absence of secret evil doing. Papa karane raha bhava. Actually, papa karane raha abhava. We should divide it body words like this. So papa karane means evil doing. Raha means secluded place or solitude. Arha means unworthy. Or that means the Buddha never did any wrongdoing, even in private, even in the secret area. So that means there are many like ascetics or ordering persons, even at the time of the Buddha. They declare that they are also a Buddha, or they may declare that they are also Arhat, or they may declare that they are also noble. Since they have never done any mistakes in public, people also think, oh, they are noble, they are good. But in private, they do many things. So, okay, the main thing is here, the Buddha will never do any mistakes, even in the private area. Right? That means nobody can defame the Buddha. Nobody can accuse the Buddha with any of wrongdoing. If they accuse, it will appear in public, because the Buddha will never do any mistakes in public or in private. So this is the first quality of the Buddha. Then we have to proceed to the next quality, Sammasambuddho. So Sammasambuddho, we also translate as fully sub-enlightened one. But here I should analyze the Pali word first. Samma, Sam, and Buddha, 3 Pali words. Samma means very well or fully. Sam means oneself. Buddha means enlightened. So that means the Buddha is the one who realized the Four Noble Truths with his direct knowledge, without being guided by any teacher. That is called Sammasambuddho. Now here we have to explain something about Four Noble Truths. So we have Four Noble Truths. Although we say very simply, realizing the Four Noble Truths or realize Four Noble Truths, but sometimes we also say realizations of Four Noble Truths. What about them we say? But we have to understand 4 different things. For example, the Noble Truth of suffering should be understood or should be understood. So we must know or we must understand the first Noble Truth. We call Purinyada. We must know it in detail, thoroughly. As we have known that Dukkha Satya is 5 brigades. No, we must know in detail. The Samudaya Satya is the cause of 5 brigades. We must know it. That's another thing, right? And not only that, what about Samudaya Satya? We must remove or eradicate or overcome it, the cause. So the Buddha just have said that we have to know the first Noble Truth, the Noble Truth of suffering, but we have to uproot the origin of suffering. The Buddha came to know all these things. For example, when we are going to cut a tree, just cutting only the trunk, without removing the root, it can regrow anytime. In Buddhism, we have to uproot the cause of suffering. So it doesn't mean we have to overcome suffering, right? We have to remove or overcome the origin of suffering. We have to eradicate the origin of suffering. We have to uproot the origin of suffering. Then what about Magga Satya? We must see. Because I say, we must practically experience Nirodha Satya, the Noble Truth of the cessations of suffering. And the last one is the Magga Satya, the Noble Truth of the path leading to the cessations of suffering. There's 2 practices. So if we summarize, to know, to uproot, and also to experience or to realize, finally to practice. 4 Noble Truth with 4 different actions 4 different things we have to do. So the Buddha came to know all the things by himself without being guided by anybody or any teacher. So as you have known that in the very beginning of his renunciation, he has been to 2 ascetics called Alara Kalama and Udagarama Buddha. The Buddha had to learn meditation under their guidance. It's only for 8 attainments. Only samatha subject. After that, he left their traditions. He just practiced in his own way until he can attain Buddhahood. Or he discovered his own way, his own method, without being guided by any teacher. That's why we call it Sammasambuddho. Okay, now 3. Vijja Tirana Sampanno. Actually, this one is too many things to explain. Many things here. Vijja Tirana Sampanno endowed with knowledge and contact. So the Buddha is the one who is endowed with 8 knowledges. So here we say knowledge and contact, right? We have to know these 2 different things. So the first one is Vipassana, the insight knowledge, the insight knowledges. So we may have different level of insight knowledges. From the very beginning, we may have the discerning mentalities and materialities. After that, discerning cause and effect relationship. After that, contemplating as anicca, dukkha, anatta, and so forth. So Buddha has all the insight knowledges. As we have known that the Buddha has attained arhatship. Without insight knowledges, it's impossible to attain Buddhahood. Then not only that, we have number 2, Manomayeti, the supernormal power of mind-made body. So here in this case, we have to explain a few more things about Manomayeti. So that means you may have known something about some arhat. They also had psychic power. They can create their own image inside their body. And this is called Manomayeti, mind-made body, multiplying body. So we have 3, right? The third one is Buddhi Nivasa Nosati Jnana, the knowledge of recollecting past existences. This is also called psychic power. We call abhinya. So the Buddha can know many of past lives. It will be different from his disciples. The Buddha can know anything or any people's life easily. So we have many different level of knowledge for about that. I think you may have known something about Paudaya. In the dependent origination, the meditator also has to discern their past lives, especially their past karmas and their dependent originations, such as defilements, also karma, sankhara, and so forth. Anyway, when we are trying to see our past life with insight knowledge, we can just know and see some concepts. Also, we can also know only the clinging aggregates. We cannot know many things in detail. But with psychic power, we can know everything in detail about the age, lifetimes, also awareness times, including the name, the lineage or the race, or we can also say nationality. This is by the power of psychic power. We call Buddhi Nivasa Nosati Jnana. Then There are also non-Buddhist ascetics or non-Buddhist practitioners. They could also see their past lives, but it will be very slow for them because they have to follow Nama Rupa mental process. Without skipping anything, they have to follow, they have to trace back to their past. But Buddha disciples have special instructions. That's why we Buddhist disciples have psychic power. We can skip this life reverse to next life duty. The previous life duty, death moment. Previous life reverse to second past lives, death moment. Something like that. We can skip duty to Buddhism. Then, when we Buddhist disciples become skillful, we can also jump to many, many lives. That is the way the Buddha instructed. Although nobody actually have that kind of knowledge, knowing their past experiences, but not that powerful as Buddha, not as powerful as Buddha disciples. This is Universal Jnana. Okay. Then 4. Diva Jakku Jnana, the knowledge of divine eyes. So that means we can see divine sights, then we can also see divine beings. We can also see very, very fine and small things with our psychic power. That's called Diva Jakku Jnana. So later we will explain all these things in the Abhijnana chapter. But here, it's just introductions. So 5, we have Diva Sota Abhijnana, the knowledge of divine ear. So that means he can listen divine sound, speaking the divine voice. This is called Diva Sota Jnana. Then Parajita Vijanana. 6. Prajita Vijanana Jnana, the knowledge of reading other living beings' minds. So this is also one of the instructions guided by the Buddha. I think many people have known this kind of knowledge. Then 7. Idivida Jnana, the supernormal power of divine diving into earth, etc. So that means, Idivida Abhijnana, we have many, many different things, as we have mentioned in Earth Kasina, right? The use of Earth Kasina, it mentioned multiplying many bodies, walking on the water, also lying down on the water, sitting on the space, walking on the space. All the things are called Idivida Abhijnana. In modern society, we cannot see this kind of things, right? It's very, very strong. We must have very strong concentration to create it like that. So now the last one is Asavakkhaya Jnana, the knowledge of distractions of taint. So here we have to talk about mental intoxicant. Although we say taints, this is also equal to mental intoxicant. We call asava in Pali. Actually, when we talk about asava, it means like an intoxicant. You know, after taking it, we get crazy. We can get madness. So anyway, we may have 4 types of intoxicants, mental intoxicants. The first one is kama asava, sensual pleasure or sensual desire. It also makes people crazy. Also can make intoxicant, or a kind of intoxicant. You know, like a fermenting very long time. We are used to be with this kind of things very long time, like a long time fermented alcohol. I think you may know more about alcohol or wine or anything, right? Long time fermented. You may know how is the taste, how powerful it is. So anyway, here mental intoxicants, sensual pleasure or sensual desire. That's called asava, the first type. Another one is bhavasava, attachment to the life. We all have attachment to our life. Although we have to suffer a lot, we still love ourselves. We still love our body. So that means we have very strong attachment to ourselves, right? This is called bhava-sava. Then ditthasava, we may have many ideas. We may have many wrong views. Although somebody guide us is wrong, we still grasping into wrong view. We still holding that wrong view. Also make people crazy, like intoxicants. The last one is avijja-sava. This is called ignorance. It's also one of the intoxicants, mental intoxicants. So if we have avijja, ignorance, it also makes people crazy, or like an intoxicant. So the Buddha had already destroyed all the intoxicant, mental intoxicant. That's why he has asrakaya jnana. So altogether we have 8 knowledge possessed by the Buddha, that means the Buddha endowed with. Then we also have, Buddha is also endowed with 15 types of contacts. As here we have said, knowledge and contact, right? Non-contact. So the first one is sila samvara, restraint by virtues. As you have known that the Buddha virtue is the strongest of all the living beings in the world. So compared to other living beings, the Buddha morality is the strongest. So Buddha had never broken any of moral rules, moral precepts. They're called sila samvara, right? Very strong morality. Then 2, Indri Yesu Gutta Dwarata, the guardians of 6 faculties. As you know that we have to control our eyes in order that we may not have any attachment to any visible objects. We may not have any hatred when seeing any visible object. So similarly, we have to guard our ears, nose, tongue, body, and mental mind doors. Sometimes we have desirable objects. We may like it. If we dislike, we may hate it. So, if desirable objects, there will be attachment or craving. If undesirable objects, there can be hatred or anger. Unpleasant mind. So to avoid the defilements or to overcome the defilements, we have to guard our sense doors. This is called Intraseconds Gutta Dvarata. Although we see many different things, we just close eyes in order that we may not see. Although we have good eyesight, we have to close our eyes in order that we may not have any attachment or hatred. Although we have very good ear, although we can hear very well, sometimes we also have to cut our ears in order that attachment and anger will not arise. Similarly, nose, tongue, body. You have to control. So 3, Visuddhimagga, the knowledge of moderating in foods. This is also very common in Buddha's teaching. So whenever we are going to eat, we must have this quality, moderating in food. Visuddhimagga. So here in this case, we have to understand 2 different things. When we are going to accept, we must know the amount we can consume. That's the first thing. Sometimes when we are going to receive, because of many donors, sometimes we cannot reject their devotions, we have to accept many different things. But when we are going to eat, we must know the amount we can consume. So that means we must not, if we cannot reject, then we must accept, then just eat the amount we can eat. No more than that. That's called Bhojani Matanyuta. Then we have 4 Jagriya Nuyogata. I think it will be very many different things about Jagriya Nuyogata. So here, when we talk about Jagriya Nuyoga, devotion to wakefulness, now we also have to know that we must be mindful all the time if we are wakeful. So all the day we can do walking meditation or sitting meditation. But at night, in the first watch of the night, we can also meditate by sitting or walking. But in the middle watch of the night, we can sleep. Then the last watch of the night, again, we can meditate. This is called Jagriya Nuyoga. So the Buddha has very strong Jagriya Nuyoga because he is always mindful. So, you may have known that Buddha had very, very short resting times. As I have said, there are 3 watches of the night. The first watch of the night, the second watch of the night, we can also say middle watch of the night, and the last watch of the night. So in the middle watch of the night, the Buddha divided into 3. After that, then he will take a nap. It doesn't mean he fall asleep, right? He didn't fall asleep. He just lying down mindfully, just resting with attainment. So that is called Jagriya Nuyoga. Buddha has very strong Jagriya Nuyoga. Very strong devotion to wakefulness. Then we also have another quality, Sada, faith. Or we can also say confidence. So later we also have to explain something about confidence, especially in the Namarupa Testament. So now here I have to introduce what's really called faith or confidence. When we talk about Sada, we can also know its opposites. We call Samsara, doubt or skepticism. So we must believe in Buddha's quality, Buddha's enlightenment. This is also called faith or confidence, Sada. Similarly, we must believe in Dhamma's quality, Sangha's quality. We also have to understand and we must believe in the benefits of 3 trainings. If we have doubt about morality, concentration, and wisdom trainings, we don't have Sada. Then after that, we also have to believe our past karma, past lives, present lives, future lives. Not only that, we must also have faith in the dependent origination. We can also understand another way, cause and effect relationship. This is called Sada. Then Sati. 6 is the Sati, mindfulness. So the Buddha has very strong mindfulness, very strong Sati. Compared to other people, the Buddha has a very strong. Then again, 7, Hiri. Hiri, because it's moderation. So here when we talk about moral shame, that means sometimes when we are going to do something wrong, we feel a bit shame to do. This is called hiri. And we are going to speak something wrong, we feel a bit shame. This is called moral shame. We call hiri. Ottappa, moderate. When we are going to do something improper, we hesitate to do. This is called Ottappa. Then our mind is not ready to accept the situation, to do something wrong, or to speak something wrong. This is called moderate, Ottappa. So these two, Hiri Ottappa, are the proximate causes of morality. That's why they are called moderate. So sometimes when we are proud of our bad actions, at that time we don't have Hiri. We don't have Ottappa. If we think that wrong action is shameful, then we have moderation, Hiri. We have moderate, Ottappa. So these two are also very important. These two will protect the world. It will make people and animals different. Since animal does not have this kind of moderate and moderation, they are fighting each other anywhere they like. They are bullying. Stronger one bully, weaker one. Bigger one bully, smaller one. This is the way animals behave. So if we don't have Hiri Ottappa, we human beings will be the same to animal. We will not respect our elder parents, maybe elder brother, elder sister, aunt, uncles, grandfather, grandparents. Right? So if we don't respect anybody like that, we are similar to animal. That's why the Buddha said, Hiri Ottappas are the protector of the world, especially human realms. If we don't have these two, we all will be same to animal. Then 9. Sutta. Sutta here means Dhamma knowledge. As we have known that Dhamma knowledge means we have to know the Tipitaka. It's too much. Then if we can know one Nikaya, if we can learn one Nikaya, this is also Sutta. If we can learn 2 Nikaya, 3 Nikayas, 4 Nikayas and 5 Nikayas, this is called Sutta, Dhamma knowledge. So we must be knowledgeable. If we are knowledgeable, we're going to be cheated by anybody. Nobody can deceive us, especially in the practice. Nobody can mislead us because we have known many different things in Buddha's teaching. Then 10. Viriya, energy. So Viriya can divide into 2 different things. The first one is mental energy. Citasika Viriya in Pali. We have the bodily energy. We call Kayika Viriya. Because the bodily energy or mental energy. We can also understand another way. We have mental efforts and bodily efforts. We have to make efforts to develop ourselves. So if we can train ourselves to develop, this is called Viriya. In the case of energy, if we summarize, we must use our energy to get better or to be a better person. This is called right efforts. If we try to make ourselves evil persons or worse person, then we can say it's a wrong efforts. So we have to use our body energy or mental energy to accumulate wholesome deeds or wholesome things. We must not use our body energy or mental energy to do evil things. This is called right effort and wrong effort. Also come from energy, right? We call in Pali Viriya. Then 11, Panya, wisdom. Since we have already talked about Panya, in the previous one, among the knowledge, this one's a contact, right? Knowledge, we have already mentioned when you think about panya. So we have many different types of panya. Okay, sometimes people also ask us, what's the difference between sutta and panya? They also ask this kind of questions. So if we say panya, wisdom, it means at least we must have cause-apprehended knowledge. That means the knowledge of understanding cause and effect in the meditation, inside knowledge. This is called panya. So there is a mostly the word I refer to that kind of knowledge. In reality, we have many different levels of panya. For example, kamasakata samadhi, the knowledge of understanding karma and its result. We call karma ownership knowledge. Kamasakata jnana. This is also called panya. So we know how to observe the precepts, how to undertake the precepts, how to keep our precepts, how to follow the precepts. If we come to know all these things, this is called silamaya panya. We can learn something from moral training. Then we also have jnanamaya panya. When we can attain jhana, also we can experience many new things. Jnanamaya panya. Ordinary people cannot achieve that kind of things. So inside knowledge, vipassana panya, this is very clear already, right? Inside knowledge, this understanding nama rupas, their causes, and so on. So this is also called panya. Not only that, if we say panya, it's up to headship. All are called panya. Then 12, the next page, attaining the first jhana, attaining the second jhana, attaining the third jhana, attaining the fourth jhana. They also call charana, contact. So these 15s are contact. So there are some questioners. They also ask to be able to attain noble foods or to attain jhana or path and fruition knowledge. We need vijjasina jhana seeds. Right? What's our vijjasina jhana seeds? They also say like that. According to Lady Sayadaw, it just mentioned vijja seed means at least we must have the knowledge of discerning 4 elements to realize nibbana. This is called vijja seeds, the knowledge. So sometimes although we are practicing vipassana, then we just practice for gain or fame, or just for superficial, or to be even in higher destinations. It's not to realize nibbana. It can be only considered as jhana seed, conduct, not knowledge. So, okay, if we say easier way, the inside knowledge, if we practice vipassana to realize nibbana, is a vijja, knowledge. If we practice vipassana to achieve worldly pleasure or something like that, it can be only charana, conduct. In our daily life, we have morality, or we have dana, we have samatha. All other wholesome actions can be considered as charana, conduct. So we must have these 2. So that means we must know and then practice. Although we know if we don't practice, we don't have vijja and charana. We must have both. Okay, this is called vijja charana sampanno. Whenever we talk about vijja charana sampanno, you have to remember 8 vijja and 15 charana. So this is one of the Buddha's quality, right? It will take very long time to explain again. Actually, from time to time, we have to explain some repetitions. That's why here I should say very simple way. Then 4, Sukhato, well spoken one. So Although we translate very easily well-spoken one, but when we go and read in the commentary or its definitions, it will be very much in detail about Sugata. So here we have two Pali words, Su and Gata. We have many different definitions of Su. The first definition, the manner of going is good, purified, blameless, or Sobana Gata. Sobana means beautiful, because it's good, or purified or blameless. Gata means going, by noble path. So the Buddha just go by noble path. Then we're going to say another way, going to the directions of safety without attachment to anything. This is also one of the quality. Here, directions of safety, what does it mean? It just means Nibbana. Nibbana is a secure and safe place. So, without any attachment to anything, he just go to the directions of safety. Nibbana. In reality, if we have attachment, we cannot attain Nibbana. If we don't have attachment, we can attain Nibbana. This is already clear. The second definition. The Buddha has gone to the excellent place, deathless Nibbana. Sundara Gata. So as you have known, Sundara means good. Right? We're going to say excellent. Here so Gata means going. So the Buddha has gone to the excellent place, deathless Nibbana. This is also called one of the definition. Then the Buddha has rightly gone to without going back to the defilements abandoned by path knowledge. Here in Pali we call Samma Gata. So the Buddha has gone rightly, right, without going back to the defilements. Sometimes, although we abandon, we also go back, right? But now, in the case of the Buddha, after going, he didn't come back there anymore. He didn't go back there anymore. This is the one thing. So here mentions, it also means that the Buddha did not follow any eternal view, annihilation view, and self-indulgence. So here, Sammami, well, right? Well means without following any eternal view. That means it would like eternal, right? We cannot pass away. There will be many, many lives. Like Atta said, going one body to another body. This is called eternal view. Annihilation view, this is after passing away, no more. Everything is finished. No more life, no more existence. Then people also say, I don't believe what I cannot know, what I cannot see. Of course, we also have to know and see it by our inside knowledge. Then self-indulgence. This is very clear already. Just follow our desire too much. Right? This is also really very bad. That's why it's called Sammagata. Then, next one. The Buddha enunciates rightly Sammagata. He speaks timely, fit into the place. So this is the last definitions of Sugata. But here we have to analyze a little bit more. He speaks timely if the speech is the truth. In Pali we call Buddha or Tacha. Sometimes we also translate like a factual. Truth or factual. Anyway, Buddha Tacha both can be translated as a truth. Then beneficial, Atta Samhita, is related to the benefit. It is associated with the benefit. And unpleasant, Appiya or Amanapa, because we say undesirable, right? Sometimes to the listeners. So although it's a truth, beneficial, but unpleasant to the listener, the Buddha will speak it timely, according to the place. He also speaks timely if the speech is a truth, beneficial and unpleasant. So, although it's a truth, although it's beneficial and pleasant, he will speak timely. Sometimes, although it's a truth and beneficial, although it's pleasant, but there are many people, they cannot practice, they cannot digest well. So there are many people, they just want to know something, they don't wish to practice. Right? That's why if something is pleasant or beneficial or truth, the Buddha also speak timely. So the Buddha also know the time. Okay, now we have to proceed. Number 5, Loka we do. So as we have known, Loka we do, Loka means the world. Now we do mean knowing, because knower of the world. So we have 3 types of loka. We our sattva loka, we ourselves, a human being or any living beings, their body, their life is also a loka. We call sattva loka. Sankhara loka, the formations, all the mentalities, materialities, all also called loka. Then Okasa loka, the existence of the realms or the plane. For example, human realms, Deva realms, Brahma realms, all are also called loka. But in the Visuddhimagga, it mentioned very many things in detail about loka. So now here I will summarize very small part of loka we do, especially about the sattva loka. Sattva loka means, right, the human realms or the living beings, the realms of living beings, the world of living beings. Okay, now here we have, we also know all beings and their habits, in Bali, asaya, their inherent tendency, anusaya, and their temperament, charita, also their bands or inclination, atimuti. So these are what the Buddha came to know about living beings. Having this knowledge, the Buddha can give proper guidance to his disciple. The many of Buddha disciples also can attain hardship easily by the power of this knowledge. Then Buddha can help many people, can give strict instructions, then they can also attain easily. Then not only that, here I also have to analyze a little bit more. Okay, I don't say I should analyze, maybe I should introduce more than about loka we do. So first, here mentioned the Buddha also knows them as with little dust defilements on their wisdom eyes, or with much dust on their wisdom eyes. So, okay, here one more thing about Buddha say dust. This also actually refer to defilements. Sometimes our eye is covered with the dust, we cannot see clearly. Similarly, when we have defilements, we cannot see the truth. So there are some people, they have very little dust, very little defilements. They can see the truth easily. There are some people, they have very messy of dust in their eyes. They cannot see the truth easily. It will take very long time to know the truth or to understand the truth. Then the Buddha also knows them as with keen faculties, and with dull faculties. We can also say another way, very sharp faculties and very weak faculties. So here faculties means we have 5 controlling faculties: saddha, faith or confidence; viriya, energy or efforts; sati, mindfulness; samadhi, concentrations; and panya, wisdom. So these 5 controlling faculties, these are the 5 controlling faculties. There are some living beings, they have very strong, very sharp controlling faculties. They can balance very well. There are some meditators, they don't have that strong controlling faculties. They cannot balance very well. Then they cannot attain easily. The Buddha also knows them as with good behaviors and with bad behaviors. Okay, here one more thing about behaviors. We call swakara and dwakara in Pali. Akara means behaviors or the acts. Anyway, when we talk about akara, good behaviors and bad behaviors, it also comes from faculties. Sometimes we have very strong controlling faculties, our behavior is good. When our controlling faculties become very weak, our behavior has become very bad. It's come from controlling faculties. Then the next one is the Buddha also knows them as easy to teach and hard to teach. As you have known in our environment, there are some people, they can accept the teaching easily. There are some people, they are not ready to accept the teaching. The Buddha also can know the living beings that they are easy to teach or they are hard to teach. So hard to teach, this means they are not ready to accept the teaching. For example, Satchaka Paripajaka, or ascetics. Although the Buddha explains very long discourses, 2 discourses, Chula Satchaka and Mahasatchaka Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya. But even he didn't admit that, he didn't ask the Buddha for refuge, because of his mana, pride. Not easy to teach. Then the Buddha also knows them as capable and incapable of achievement. As we have explained all the obstacles or obstructions in our previous talk, right? Kama Varana, Kilesa Varana, and so forth, right? Mighty Kama, wrong view, also the 2 roots, unrooted people, and so forth. Then, when we have all these situations, we cannot attain anything. Not only that, we also have present life practice. Sometimes we are not that much diligent. That's why it's not easy to understand, easy to achieve. Anyway, so the main thing is, Buddha has known all the living beings, we call Satta Loka in detail. That's what we call Loka we do. To also know Sankhara Loka, the formations, Namarupas. To also know Okasa Loka, the existence, the realms, the world systems. This is also called Loka we do. Okay, now 6. Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati. So he mentioned incomparable leader of men to be tamed. This is mostly translated in many of texts. So here Anuttara, we have to start talking about Anuttara first. Anuttara means incomparable or unsurpassable. So the Buddha surpassed the whole world with higher virtues, higher concentration, higher wisdom, higher deliverance or emancipations, and also the knowledge and visions of deliverance or emancipation. This is called incomparable or suppress the words. This is called anuttara. With all these qualities, the Buddha attained. For example, if we ourselves are immoral, we cannot train people to be moral. The Buddha himself is moral, that's why he could train his disciple with morality to be moral. Similarly, concentrations. If we ourselves don't have concentration, we cannot teach people to have concentration. So now the Buddha is incomparable. He has incomparable quality. He himself also possesses all these things. He can also guide his disciples to be like him. So now the Buddha tames those who haven't not yet tamed. He also further tames those who have already tamed, teaching them to attain jhana, spiritual path, and so on. Okay, here we have to explain a few more things about it. For example, like Angulimala, very bad, right? The Buddha trained him. In the very beginning, he cannot take leadership. Later, the Buddha guided him. He can take leadership. So, the Buddha trained a immoral person to be a moral person. The Buddha trains an unconstricted man to be a constricted man. The Buddha trained a wise person to be a wise person. This is the way Buddha trained. The Buddha also trained, for example, those who attain Sotapanna. The Buddha trained those who attain Sotapanna to be Sakadagami, Anagami, Arhat. That's the way the Buddha trained his disciple. Then the Buddha also taught his disciples showing the right path, such as explaining advantages of good deeds and disadvantages of bad deeds. This is called Anuttara Dhammasarati. So guiding or training his disciples to be a better person all the time. Okay, now we have to continue the next quality. Sattha Deva Manusana, teacher of men and devas. So, there is the one who teaches the ultimate goal and the benefits here and hereafter to men and devas. So as we have known that the ultimate goal is Nibbana, right? This is our ultimate goal. This is the main target of Buddhists. So if we have this kind of goal, then the Buddha will guide them to go there. This is called teacher. Then another thing is, the Buddha also gets men and devas across the wilderness of rebirth, aging, sickness and death. Actually, in the Visuddhimagga, it also mentioned many examples. Okay, another thing is, it mentioned like the leader of the merchants. When they are in the risky journey, the leader will have his disciple, his followers, to escape from the danger. Similarly, the Buddha also have his disciple to escape from the danger. Here also mentioned the wilderness of rebirth, of birth, aging, sickness and death. So we are born as a human being. We die as a human being. We cannot know what will be the next life. We can be reborn as another living beings. We can pass with another living beings again. Sometimes we can be reborn as a human being again. right? We have been born in the same lives, the same existence, many times. We also have been born in different existences, different lives, many times. This is called samsara. So the Buddha helped his disciple to escape from samsara, like a merchant who leads his followers to escape from danger. That's why called Satta Deva Manusana, the teacher of devas and mans and devas. Then Buddha 8. So, when we talk about the Buddha, there are only two meanings of the Buddha. Either we know Buddha, right? I think you may have known many things about Buddha and Buddha. This is like a common word in Buddhism. So the Buddha discovered the ultimate truth by himself. That means he understands the Four Noble Truths by himself. So, another one is that the Buddha is also the awakening of others. So we can also say another one. The Buddha is the awakened one. So we have darkness, like a darkness of ignorance. Ignorance is like darkness. In the darkness, we are sleeping. Sleeping means we spend our time with our habits, our hobby, right? All these are called sleeping. Then the Buddha wake up from everything. No more habits, no more hobby. He wake up first. He also come to know that many living beings are still sleeping. Then he just trying to open people's eyes, given the light in the darkness, the light of wisdom will remove the darkness of ignorance. When they see the light, then they will wake up, removing previous habits, all hobbies. After that, they can practice the Buddha's, the guided by the ways guided by the Buddha. They also wake up. So now, if we say another way, Buddha means the one who awakened. He himself awakened. Also, he also awaken. He also make other people awake. This is the meaning of Buddha. Then we can also understand Buddha also know the Four Noble Truths by himself or for himself. He also guides other people to know the Four Noble Truths. This is called the meaning of Buddha. Okay, now the last part, Bhagawa, the Blessed One. Although we have many definitions of Buddha, actually many meanings of Buddha, it will be more than enough. Also, I am trying to summarize these Buddha in many other ways. But anyway, now I found one small booklet. Okay, we say in Myanmar we call the Taste of Visuddhimagga by one Myanmar scholar. He summarized Bhagawa. Actually, his version is better than my summarizing. Okay, now I will just talk about 6 kinds of blessing here. Whenever we talk about Bhagawa, there are 6 types of Bhagami, blessing. So Isriya, Lordship. So this is what we can find in the Visuddhimagga. All the translations can be found in Visuddhimagga. But here in reality, Lordship means he can rule over his mind. He's the Lord of his mind. He's not the slave of his mind. So he can rule over his mind that he could create very, very minor things. For example, he can make his body very thin, like a dust. He can make his body become very big. He can make his body, and he can walk in the sesame seeds. Right? There are many, many things he can create. This is called Itsariya. He can control his mind too much. He can rule over his mind. That's why it's called Itsariya, lordship. The Dhamma. Dhamma means he's the owner of mundane dhammas or supramundane dhammas. For example, the Buddha has worldly knowledges, also worldly attainments such as jhana, psychic powers, also supramundane knowledges like arhatship, seven jnana, omniscience, right? Seven jnana. Then all these things are called Dhamma. This is also called blessing. Then yasa, fame or famous. So actually, Buddha was very famous since he was born. Right? So that is why he's called Bhagga, famous. Actually, yasa also can be translated as attendants or followers. Because it's like a retinues, followers, or attendants, or disciples, all called yasa. So the Buddha has many, many followers. That's why it's called yasa. Then siddhi, glory. So this one comes from the Buddha's appearance. Buddha appearance is also very good looking. That's what we call siddhi. Then in our practice in Power Doya, right? When we try to see Buddha's image or Buddha's statues and visualize, because this siddhi, glory, we're just trying to ask the meditator to see the glory of the Buddha, the appearance of the Buddha. This is the one thing. Then, next one is a karma, wish. So that means Buddha wish. Okay, that means Buddha also wish for the good of people, right? Karma. People will follow Buddha wish also. Sispayataka, endeavor. We can also like efforts, or right efforts. So these are called Bhagga. Then here I also explain what next slide maybe. The Buddha has supreme lordships over his mind. Right? This refers to the first one, Itsariya. The Buddha has achieved all kinds of mundane and supramundane knowledges. This is called Dhamma, second. The second quality, second Bhagga. Then the Buddha has exceedingly pure flame spreading through the three worlds. So pure flame. This is one thing. Then the Buddha has the glory of all limbs and perfect in every aspect. This is his body structure, his appearance. Then we have the last part. We'll go yasa, right? Sorry, siddhi. Now the karma. The Buddha has his wish. In other words, the productions of what he wanted. That means his disciple also follow his desire, his wish. The Buddha wanted the beneficial to himself and others, but that's why people also follow Buddha's wish. The Buddha has the endeavor, that means the right efforts. The Buddha always has the right efforts. This is Buddha's quality. Okay, now this is called Buddha's quality, 9 Buddha's quality. Then many people also ask us how to develop Buddhanosati, the recollection of the Buddha. So traditionally we just ask people to see the glory of the Buddha. So we're just trying to ask them to visualize Buddha's statues or Buddha's images as they prefer. After that, we're just trying to recollect one of the quality. For example, now the last one, right? The Buddha has the endeavor, that means right efforts. The right effort is actually ultimate reality. We cannot see it. We can see Buddha's statue or Buddha's picture. Then we are trying to visualize Buddha's image or Buddha's statues. After that, we are trying to recollect the quality. The Buddha who has the endeavor or the right effort. Repeating the same quality, the same meaning many times. So although we have many different definitions, then we can choose one of them. For example, Arhat has 5 definitions. We can choose only one. For example, the Buddha is the one who is very far away from the defilements. Although we say very simply, right? Defilements also many defilements. For example, we can choose only one, Lobha. The Buddha is far away from Lobha, greed. This is also called one of the recollections. The Buddha is very far away from hatred or anger or jealousy. We can do. So there, if we analyze very much in detail, it can be more than thousands of Buddha's quality. So we can do many different ways of recollection. So it doesn't mention anything about nimitta in Buddhanosati. In the sub-commentary it mentioned that we don't have any nimitta. But in the benefit of Buddhanosati, it mentioned we may feel like we are in the presence of living Buddha. That means we are successful. Okay? So that means how can we know that we have already practiced Buddhanosati successfully? It will be the next topic, right? There are many other things to know about Buddha's quality. Then I also have to explain many other things more than that, because I have a collections of the books about Buddha's quality in Myanmar version, Myanmar language. So next week I will continue anything about Buddha's quality again, using the same things but different approach to Buddha's quality. I think you may have never known this kind of things. Anyway, it's a good thing for me also. I have to read many books. I have many new knowledge. I can also analyze it a little bit more in detail. So now I will stop here, right? When we are going to do Buddhanosati, we have to know Buddha's quality, trying to recall one quality at a time. So if you have difficulty, you can try many qualities in the present, in the very beginning. After that, you can choose the clearest one, the strongest one for your knowledge. Then trying to recall only one thing, hold the sitting. It will be effective. Okay? So the benefit of Buddha's quality and many other things to know about Buddha's quality, I have to continue next week. Okay? May you all be able to practice the Buddha's teaching, and may you all be able to realize the final cessations and no suffering. Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.
Dear Sayadaw, it is said that it is said the dana where we rejoice before, during, and after is very great in terms of merits. However, sometimes even when we rejoice before, during, and after a while, someone may criticize our good deeds and we may feel remorse. Is it no longer superior?
Okay. So in this case, if you know it's the truth, don't listen to other people. Okay, for about like if you say like this is called Tihetuka Okata, right? Okata Tihetuka, the greatest 3 roots. So that means you have happiness or rejoice before or following. in the actual time of offering. After some time, you also feel happiness, right? You can rejoice it. But corresponding with other people, you have unwholesome. But it doesn't matter. There's a good quality already. So if you can feel, if you can rejoice, whole life is the best, sure. Right? Anyway, this you have already done your best. It's okay. Next one.
Dear Seado, in last week's lesson on the use of kasinas, we do not understand the following. Acquisition, the base of mastery, abhinyayatana, by the method of fairness and ugliness, and attainment of the liberation by beautiful. Could Seado kindly explain the above and with examples? Thank you, Seado.
So in this case, I have to explain all the abhibarana and all these super vimokkha, right? Vimokkha especially. We have 8 abhibarana. Okay? Okay, now if I say all the 8 abhibarana, it will be many things. So I have to say very simple things about it. So we have 8 abhibarana. Okay? We have 8 abhibarana. You can also get the information in Mahaparinibbana Sutta. We have 8 abhibarana, right? So they are mentioned about development kasina. So internally, having the perceptions of rupa means especially about kasina. Then externally, right? The small or like a beautiful ugliness, fairness or ugliness. Here you see the small ugliness or fairness of rupas, external rupas. This is one of the abhibarana. Okay, the main thing is, he practices kasina. Okay, this is the one thing. After that, he also trying to know, trying to expand, externally. Sometimes it's really very fair, or very bright, very good. Sometimes it's not really very good. That is called the first abhibarana. So okay, if we say briefly, so whatever kala kasina we can enter, it can be good kala, it can be bad kala, or it can be small, it can be big, according to how our skill and as we can expand it. So if we can take jhana, after that imagine from jhana, when we can discern jhana dhamma, it can be considered as the abhibarana. Okay, so every single kasina, every single kala kasinas, also every single jhana we can enter, we can emerge, also we can also practice vipassana. This is called abhibarana. Okay, this is the first part about acquisitions of, right, based on masteries by the method of fairness and ugliness. Here, fairness, ugliness means if the kasina is very stable and very bright, this is called fair. Unstable and not very bright, this is called ugliness. Now, this is attainment of the liberation by beautiful. This is called subha vimokkha. So we have 8 types of vimokkha. So among the 8 types of vimokkha, number 3, we have 8. Among the 8, 3 is called subha vimokkha, the one. So in this case also, entering into kala kasinas. So here subha means very beautiful or very clear, very bright kasina. So having this very bright kasina kala, he can enter into jhana attainment. This is called subha nimitta. Subha vimokkha, right? So, okay, briefly, all these two, as we mentioned, master of the abhibarana or subha vimokkha. These two are related to kala kasinas also entering into jhanas. For about Abhivana entering into jhana, also descend jhana dhammas. For about Vimokkha, only entering into jhana. These two are different. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, for Asubha meditation, can we use a fake skeleton model or fake corpse in horror movies to practice and attain jhana? Do we have to have a realistic looking model? If we have the mindset that they are fake, is it possible to attain jhana or only the Asubha appearance matter?
Okay, so if we have the real dead body or real picture of dead body, it will be okay. As long as we cannot see dead body, right, easily, it's also okay. For about skeleton, so if fake skeleton, some skeleton are very small, not real size of human being. I have one skeleton. They're actually not real skeleton, the fake one from Thailand. But the life size skeleton, like real human being skeleton. In this case, it will be okay, I think. Right? We can also see as a skeleton. We can also can feel repositives on seeing it. In this case, it will be fine. But something too beautiful, if we think it's beautiful, we're gonna feel, we're gonna experience repositiveness, then we cannot attain any jhana. So okay, we're gonna save all the fake one, right? For about skeleton, fake possibility is okay. But for about horror movie, I don't think it's okay.
Vandami Sayadaw, in the practice of Paticca first method, there is one topic to discern the Nama Rupa Paccaya Salayatana.
Yeah.
In this topic, there is one section that this meditator have to discern Rupa Yatana Paccaya Manayatana. So here, he mentions that, for example, this Chakayatana arises. Then, because of the arising of Chakayatana, the Chakku Vinyana, this Manayatana arises. So the question is, so this Chakayatana is referring to the Majjhima Yuga Chakku that arise together with Adita Bhavanga. So she would like to know this Purejata Chakayatana. Since it is Purejata, why it is called Majjhima Yuga?
Okay. So surely in this case, you must know about mental process more, right? So okay, one more thing. We have three types of ayuga: Manda Yuga, Amanda Yuga, and Majjhima Yuga. Manda Yuga means weak lifespans. So that means if earlier than like Adita Bhavanga, there's also Haryavatu or any Chakuvatu, then this is called Manda Yuga. Because they cannot be the base of the consciousness up to 17 mind moments, right? That's why they are called Manda Yuga. So after the first Bhavanga, after Adita Bhavanga, then there are also Chakayana. Many Chakayana will arise after that. They are called Amanda Yuga. Amanda Yuga means they are not very weak, so strong. They can be more than 17 mind moments of, that means more than mental process, we can say like that. That's why Majjhima Yuga means, Majjhima Yuga means it will arise together with Adita Bhavanga or the perish with the 17 mind moments of the mental process. It can be powerful dependence. That's why we just use Majjhima Yuga, median lifespans. That means they can arise together with Adita Bhavanga, that will perish in the 17 mind moments. Okay, this is called Majjhima Yuga Chakayana.
Venerable Sayadaw, while working for a livelihood, is it possible to apply Dhamma in doing job? Is it possible to be in first jhana while doing job or doing academic reading? How to balance factors to increase maximum productivity in job?
Actually, these two are two different ways, you know. When we are going to earn, this is another way. When we are going to attain jhana, these two are opposite way, you know. But one more thing, in daily life, if we have good intentions or wise intention is good enough. As long as we are wise, right? Wise enough to have wholesome deed is good enough. What about jhana? That's not easy for academic job or academic reading or doing job. Okay, next one.
Dear Sayadaw, let us know about the Lokiya and Lokuttara Noble Eightfold Paths. Samma Sankappa is expected because Vitakka has removed after attaining second jhana. Likewise, in the case of Lokuttara 1, has Samma Sankappa been also removed by the same reason except the Magga and Pala stage according to the first jhana?
Okay. So, actually, when we are practicing in our daily life, right? So, Samma Vaca, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, we can say three moral noble paths. The three noble eightfold paths, three or noble eightfold paths that are related to the morality. So, they are preliminary factors. Before we are going to practice, we must have all these three. After that, Samma Sati, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, they are working factors. You know, we have to practice these three. Then after that, we will experience Samma Ditthi and Samma Sankappa. They are working factors. So three of them are preliminary factors. Before we are going to practice, we must have. 5 of them are working at the time of practice. These are called Lokiya. What about Lokuttara? You know, when they contain the first jhana, or they contain Visuddhimagga with the first jhana, so they can be 8 Maganga. Right? 8 Magga is very clear. So, if they contain with the second jhana, then there will be only 7 Maganga, no Samma Sankappa. Right? We can understand like this. So, for about Lokiya, we have fully 8. For about Lokuttara, it depends on the attainments. If second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana were associated with the path of fruition knowledge, it can be only 7 eightfold paths. 7 noble paths, not noble eightfold paths, right? Okay.
Because at home he needs to work, but he doesn't want to. His mind doesn't want to work. He would like to meditate only. But if he want to, if he need to go and work, he worried there will be too much external condition for him to handle. Then he will be far away from the true Dhamma. And working is really suffering. It's too hard and very busy. So what should he do?
Okay. If you can earn enough, you can meditate. It doesn't matter, right? You must earn enough for your life. After that, you can meditate. So, as long as you are a lay person, you have to do many other things. You have to work for many people, right? Your family or something like that. Your parents, something like that. So, as long as you are dutiful for your companies or companions or associates or relatives, is good enough. If you have earned enough, you can meditate, right? So anyway, the main thing is you can earn, sure, but after that, you must plan how much you must earn and how much in which dates. You must facilitate the time limit. In which up to which day, which year I will work for earning. After that, I will start meditating. You can plan by yourself. Now, not too much pressure for your life. If too pressure, you're gonna feel happy. Even in meditation, no pressure. If you have a lot of pressure, you're gonna feel happy. You're gonna feel peacefulness. So you can adjust your situation now. Okay. Next one.
问答 Miss Yado, what is the relationship between meditations and sleeping? If someone meditate more, can he reduce sleeping time?
Actually, okay, if you have very strong concentrations or if you have a lot of tranquility, then sure, sometimes you're gonna sleep. It doesn't matter. So if you don't have very strong tranquility or rapture or joy or the light, then you may feel sleepy and drowsy. If you be drowsy, just sleep. It's okay.
问答 Miss Yado, regarding the self idea, if someone try to relinquish the idea of selfness, means relinquish the idea of the self idea, does that mean doesn't care about others' opinions, no matter it is correct or wrong, he will agree with them? For example, he need to buy something that he wants, so he need to relinquish all his own idea.
Actually, in this case, we don't recommend this kind of things. But also didn't recommend this kind of things, right? So other people's idea as a right and correct, we can follow. If they are not right or incorrect, we can listen, but we don't need to do. We don't need to work for them. This is okay, right? It doesn't mean you have to follow all the things or other people's idea. If you have a wrong view, relinquish. If some idea are very harmful for you, relinquish. This is the way Buddha instructed. Okay.
Dear Sayadaw, what is the relationship between being's habit, asaya, their inherent tendencies, anusaya, their temperaments, charita, and their bent on inclination, adimuti? Are they interrelated?
Okay. So for about the habits, we have habits of, I think in daily life, you can also see many different habits of people. This is okay, right? For about inner tendency, we have anusaya, we have special list of, we have the list of anusaya, for example, kamaraga anusaya. There's an inherent tendency. That means hidden defilements. It just does not come out until we have external objects. When something happens, all the defilements will come out, it will arise. This is called inherent tendency, anusaya. So for our temperaments, we have 6 types of temperaments mentioned in the Visuddhimagga in our previous Dhamma talks. These are called charita. For our adhimoti, actually we can also say like our inclination, we can say our desire, what our mind incline most of the time. So we can say according to all these situations, Buddha can know people's conditions to attain or not to attain. Okay, so the main thing is we're going to say their relationship between these two. Habit is come from our practice, right? Or tendency or latent inherent tendency, anusaya is like we have kamaraga anusaya, varaga anusaya, and so forth. There we have 7 anusayas. This is one thing. For our charita, we have 6 charita. So adhimoti, inclination, it's been what our mind incline most of the time. In one day, what's your thoughts? How many things do you think about it? What is the most object you think? This is called adhimoti. Okay.
Dear Sayadaw, how to develop virya?
Actually, we have already talked about how to develop virya sampajanga, right? You can review that parts. So briefly, if we have very strong samvega, we may have stronger virya. So trying to have more samvega here, okay? For short answer, trying to have more sense of urgency, then you will have stronger virya. Okay, next one.
Yes. Vietnamese said all. Con xin lấy này said all. Con được phép hỏi. Vietnamese said all. When I practice Buddhanusati and on the quality Buddha, and I can see the light appear, but when I change into the quality arahant, arahant, arahant. So the light disappear is not the same with the Buddha. So I continue practice on the quality arahant, and my body start to become very light, tranquil. About 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I can feel that. But I can maintain that. I can maintain that for 1 to 3 hours every sitting. So can say đó, có thể dạy con khi nào nhận biết được mình nên niệm ơn Đức Phật có kết quả. So can say đó, please teach me. So when can I know that my practice of Buddhanusati is successful?
Okay, so next Dhamma Talk will be about it, right? Okay, one of them is you may feel like you are living together with living Buddha, real Buddha. Then this means you are successful. This is one of the things, right? You may have stronger devotions or stronger faith in the Buddha. This is also one of the things. Actually, okay, later, actually next week, we're going to be talking about all this benefit of Buddhanosati. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, when a meditator discerns to the past lives, if he had met the living Buddha before, will he be able to see the Buddha's appearance clearly?
In this case, we cannot know the Buddha's clear appearance because we just can see Upadana Khanda, clinging aggregates. We cannot see the aggregates. You know, Buddha doesn't have clinging aggregates. Buddha just aggregates. That's why we cannot see we cannot know or see the Buddha or Arhat because they don't have Upadana Khanda. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, when I practice recollection of Buddha's qualities, I always feel very strong compassion coming from the Buddha. Can this be considered as one of the qualities of the Buddha?
Actually, if you feel like a compassion, right? This is a little bit different from the quality. Then what do you feel? You know, recollection means you must keep recollecting whatever thing you feel. This is different. So quality and compassions are two different things. Okay, one more thing. You know, compassion is the prerequisites of Buddhas, or prerequisites of, we can say the prerequisites of parami. You know, that's why we're gonna say there's a Buddha's quality. Okay, next one.
Sayadaw, in the night when the Bodhisattva attained Buddhahood. So there are 3 questions. First, at the first watch of the night, the Buddha attained the Pubbe Nivasanusati jnana. So what type of kammatthana he practiced in order to attain that? Is it anapanasati or kasina in order to attain this Pubbe Nivasanusati? Some teachers say it is anapanasati, some teachers say it is through kasina.
Okay.
Why there are different sayings? This is the first part of the question.
Okay. So in this case, we have to talk about a little bit in detail, right? So, okay. Actually, the Buddha also practiced anapanasati in the very night. But to attain second power, he has to practice kasinas. So that means in the very beginning, he practiced anapanasati. Later, he practiced the kasinas and 14 ways of training minds. After he practiced second power, he could attain Buddha Nivasanusati jnana. Okay? Any other question?
Second part, middle watch of the night. Through which methods did the Buddha attain the Dipachaku? And the third part of the question, through what kammatthana the Buddha attains Buddhahood? Some teachers say it is through the 12 Paticcasamuppada Anga in order to attain Buddha. Some teachers say it is through anapanasati, seeing the jhana dhammas arising, the jhana dhammas perishing. anicca, dukkha, anatta in order to attain Buddhahood.
Okay. So what about the middle watch of the night? It will be the same, practicing kasina, also 14 ways of training mind. After that, he continues practicing for second power. He could attain divine eyes. What about the Buddhahood? In this case, we have to understand like a Mahavajira Vipassana. Mahavajira Vipassana means the Buddha practiced many different methods. Many different methods means, okay, I'm going to talk about one thing. Okay, for about avijja, for example, right? As we say, dependent origination, avijja. It's not very simple avijja. The Buddha also see the nama rupas of, how can we call this one? Many millions of, how do we call this one? Universe, we can say, many millions of universe, Yeah, we can say millions of universe, sure. Millions of universe. So living beings from millions of universe, and also which are of all the living beings in millions of universe. Then one also could discern their past, present, and future namarupas and their relationship. After that, the Buddha also contemplate that as anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this is also called, right? This is called Mahavajira Vipassana. Then, okay, this is the first part. Another one is also practice many, many other jhanas. For example, as you say, anapana. So based on anapana, then entering into jhanas. After that, discern, imagine for it, discern jhana, dhamma. So 5 aggregates. Also, that's it, as you say now, as I said, they also cause of relationship. Right? After that, practice vipassana. So he used many, many different methods. Right? So altogether, there are many, many millions of ways he practiced. After that, he attained hardship and Buddhahood. Okay?
So Sayadaw, I think the questioner, what he wants to know is, at the moment in which Dhamma that the Buddha discerned, then he attained Buddhahood.
Okay, so at that time, we can say like based on anapanasati, he discerned namarupas, he attained Buddhahood. Okay?
Mandami Sayadaw, someone with Dipa Chaku, can a person with Dipa Chaku know whether the other meditator has become a noble person or not?
No, cannot. Because Dipa Chaku isn't different from arahats, right? Or maybe noble persons. So what about the Parajita Vichanana? It will be possible to know other people's noblehood if he himself is a noble person. If he is only worldly people, he can only a noble person's mind. He cannot know. Okay?
Mandami Sayadaw. So Jagriya no Yogo only means the first, middle, and last watch of the night.
Okay, so actually Jagriya Yoga means we must be wakeful all the time. This is called Jagriya Yoga. It does not depend on the night, right? Also, if we are wakeful whole night is much better, like a Buddha,
If he has doubts towards his own teacher, and he doubts the teacher have thoughts wrongly, and even doubts about the teacher's practice is not good. So does this doubt consider one of the doubts that should be removed by the Sotapanna?
Okay. What about the Sotapanna? We can say like he can remove doubt about the past, present, and future. So for about doubt about the teacher, this is a little bit different, right? This is not concerned with the practice. So if you have doubt about the practice, this is the one you can overcome with Sotapanna.
Mandami Sayadaw. Panya. Panya includes Pachaya Parikaha Jnana and also Nama Rupa Parikaha, or discernment of the cause and effect of Nama Rupa. So if someone through learning and know Nama Rupa and the cause and effect, but not through practice. So in order to know this Pachaya Parikaha Jnana, does that consider wisdom or wisdom? Because wisdom should include the Suddhamaya Panya, Cintamaya Panya, and Bhavanamaya Panya, isn't it?
Okay, so it depends on the way we use. For example, now when we talk about Vicharana, in this case, we have Sutta and Panya, two different things. In this case, learning knowledge can be Sutta, it cannot be Panya. Okay? If we talk about Suddhamaya Jnana, Cintamaya Jnana, Bhavanamaya Jnana, in this case, sure, they are called Panya. Okay?
In the Sila Panya, Sila Samadhi, Panya, Vimutta and Mutta Jnana Dasana. So Vimutta and Vimutta Jnana Dasana means what?
Okay, Vimutta is actually ahead of fruition knowledge. Vimutta Jnana Dasana is a revealing knowledge. Okay, these two are different. Okay?
The Buddha says there are 14 types of benefits of dana. In this 14 types of dana, offerings to the Puthujjana, the vipaka is limited. But the Buddha also say, in the past we have we have dana to certain Buddha, and the punya is unlimited. The Buddha also say in the past we have dana to certain Buddha. The punya is unlimited, but until today there isn't any more left. But the karma that we have done in the past, it can possibly be mature in certain time. But why the punya sometimes can be finished? It should not be finished, isn't it?
I think there's some misunderstanding maybe, right? So it must be a horsey karma. If we say finish, this means a horsey karma. After attaining hardship, then there can be many akusala karma, right? They can be weaker or some kusala karma will be finished. This is also possible, a horsey karma. Especially horsey karma must be after prinivana. Okay, this one is a little bit something and misunderstanding maybe. Okay, this one.
Yes, Sayadaw. Can the Sayadaw please explain how I can remove attachment to my family and the household life? I want to be a bhikkhu, but I'm also scared of failure. So how do I get the courage to ordain?
Okay. So first, you must have some arrangement for your family, right? So you must plan. I have to say, you have to plan to maintain your family or to support your family. After that, if they can walk by themselves, then you can also ordain, you can also meditate. Actually, if you are going to live family life, you need to have more power, more mind power. Otherwise, you are homesick and many worry, and then finally you have to disrobe again. This is really very bad. So first prepare, get ready, plan properly. After that, if you can support fully, then you can ordain. Okay?
Yes, Sayadaw. If a person doesn't mind how others treat him or her and always find excuses for others' bad behavior, does this mean this person has little dust, or could this also encourage others' unwholesome behaviors?
Okay. So that means if we don't get angry, this is actually, or if we don't mind whatever other people do to us, this is, we can say, good culture, right? But one more thing here about it. So we cannot say like a little dust or any other things like that. The main thing is he has very strong endurance, very strong patience. But we're going to read their minds, you know. Sometimes they don't say anything, they can keep quiet, but a lot of anger in the mind, you know. Anusaya, the one, inherent tendency, very strong hatred in the mind. It will be the problem in the future. So, okay, in this case, it depends on his personality. We cannot say exactly what's happening in his mind.
About the 15 jhana, why it doesn't include the 4 arupa jhana?
Okay, actually, arupa jhana also based on rupa jhana. That's why it doesn't mention anything about arupa jhana.
During the practice of Buddhanusati, should reflect the 9 quality of the Buddha. So in this process, it needs to think. But during meditation, for example, in Anapanasati, the mind should focus at one point, not through thinking. So how to let the mind, the thinking activities, how to reduce the thinking activity in order to focus on the meditation?
Okay, so in the very beginning, you can do some mental recitation, or you can note, right? Araham, 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 just recite in your mind. This is also possible. But the main thing is you must keep understanding or keep reflecting or reviewing Buddha's quality. As you focus on the breath, right? This because the breath is the only touching point, you know, you can know it, you can feel it. For about araham, this the quality of other people, not from your body. The quality of the Buddha, this is outside your body, right? You have to know or understand the meaning deeply. This is the main point. Okay?
Dear Sayadaw, can the Sayadaw please explain the 8 liberations, Vimokkha?
Okay, it will be very long. Vimokkha will be very long. Okay, maybe I think we have to explain maybe later, I think, somewhere, right? Today it will be too long, right? Okay, next one.
Yes, Ado. He would like to know what is the meaning of Kayena Pusitwa and Kayena Pusitwa and Shenzhen. Kaya Sakhi, what is the meaning of that?
Okay, Kayena Pusitwa means you can touch it with your body, right? Another one is you can experience practically, then you yourself become witness. That's called Kaya Sakhi.
Vandami Sayadaw, what are the 7 types of Anusaya?
Okay, so the first one is Kama Raga Anusaya. This is about the sensual pleasure, sensual desire. Another one is Bhava Raga Anusaya, attachment to the life. Then we also like a Dita Anusaya, wrong view. Then also Mana Anusaya, conceit. Then we also have like Vijikita Anusaya. Right? This is the skepticism or doubt. Then Avijja Anusaya, we call ignorance. Okay, now Paticca Anusaya, we have dosa, you know, altogether they are 7 Anusaya. Okay?
Vandami Sayadaw, is there any limitations for ordination in Myanmar? Is there any requirement?
Okay, actually, we don't have any limitations, but in my case, right, if I have to be Upajjhaya, mostly I ask my disciple to try to be able to chant or try to recite Temperisa by themselves, or maybe or the party, then they have to chant all the party by themselves, trying for it. Another one is Sekhiya rules, you know. Before they are ordained as a Samanera, I recommend them to remember Sekhiya rules. I also ask them to be able to, if they can answer my question, I will allow them to be Samaneras. If they are going to be ordained as a bhikkhu, I will ask them to know 227 rules, you know, Patimokka rules. I will ask the questions. If they can answer, I will allow them to be bhikkhu. This is the way I practice. That's only from my side, right? I don't know in other monastery. So after a long time becoming Upajjhaya, I become wiser, you know, I don't allow easily. This is my way of practice. For other monasteries, they may have their own way of acceptance. So we don't have any other restrictions. As long as you can follow Vinaya rules, you can learn Vinaya rules, it's okay. Idawadaja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sambati siddhiya idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame nyatinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idame punyam asawekaya waham hodu idame punyam nibbanasa bhajayo hodu mama punya bhagam sabbasadanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labandu sadhu sadhu sadhu.